Welcome to this iPhone 5 versus iPhone 7 is it time to upgrade video. So I'm not going to run this through no extensive testing here because I don't really believe that it needs extensive testing. I mean, the phone is 4 years newer here on the iPhone 7. We don't even need to run it through these app tests. We know it's going to be a quicker device. It's just the way technology works. It gets upgraded. But in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about should you do this upgrade. Now, a lot of people who are ignorant to the fact that a lot of people still have iPhone 5s are going to be like, duh, obviously. But for the people that, have more consideration for those of you out there who keep phones for a long time like me, I know there's several people who decide to buy an iPhone and they don't upgrade for several years. I mean, I was just in a Chipotle the other day and somebody had an iPhone 5, and I also seen somebody walk by me in the bookstore the next day who had an iPhone 5. So these iPhone 5s are still out in the wild. So I definitely understand why some people still have an iPhone 5. I mean, it was a great device when it came out, and to this day, I still would go on the record to say it's a great device. If you just need to do some basic tasks, this phone can do everything you need it to do, to be honest with you, even on iOS 10. So both of these devices here are running the latest version of iOS 10, which is pretty nice. Yes, you get quite a few more features on the iPhone 7, but the features you get, if you don't use them too much, if you just use the basic iOS, they're going to be very similar in terms of their feature set. Now, this is a huge one. If you want to get an iPhone, if you really like the iPhone 5 experience and you're ready to upgrade, this is going to be a huge upgrade for you from the iPhone 5. It's going to be a pricey upgrade, but it's going to be one that's going to do the same thing that happened with your iPhone 5. It's going to last well into the future. I really think this phone is going to last well into the future. I mean, it has water resistance. It's very durable. They had time to refine the iPhone 6 series. It's still got that 6 series style of body, but you know what? It's pretty refined now. So I think this phone is going to be another one of those phones that's going to last you well into the future if you decide to go ahead and upgrade. However, I think if you're somebody who doesn't care too much about the latest and greatest technology, all you ever used your iPhone 5 for was some basic tasking, then this is probably something you might want to skip. And if you really need an upgrade, but you feel like you don't need to go that high in technology or that, cutting edge, you might want to look at some of the Android offerings that are at a cheaper price point, or even an older iPhone like a 6S or an SE at that price point, because the iPhone 7 is a really, I would say, depending on your perspective, somebody who makes $100,000 a year, this is probably nothing for them. Somebody who makes $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year, this is a pricey phone. It's all relative to the income levels you have. But I would say that the iPhone 7, regardless of your income levels, is not, probably worth its price tag. It's just, you're paying for the brand here. You're paying to have the latest Apple gadget here on the iPhone 7. Whereas if you could buy something like a OnePlus 3 and have a similar experience, you can buy a Galaxy S7 on the used market for under 500 bucks. Have a very great experience there with pretty much all the features set here that you get on the iPhone 7. Now, I'm not bashing the iPhone 7 in the sense of saying that it's a horrible phone. It's an amazing phone. It's very good, very refined. It's just probably a bit pricey for most people. Now, if you do have the means to upgrade from an iPhone 5 to an iPhone 7, which that's awesome too, if you can do that, and you really want iOS, I would say, if you could stick out one more year, I think they're really going to do something huge with the next model. Now, if they decide to do an iPhone 7S and they keep the same design, I'm not sure they're going to do that. But if they do decide to do that, then there's not going to be much difference from this. But like I say, 4 years down the line, if you do light tasking, the iPhone 5 actually still does pretty solid here. I mean, let's just go into a couple applications. You could see right on open, pretty buttery smooth here on both of these devices in terms of just your general day-to-day operations. I mean, for the most part, you can get by with the iPhone 5 even here in 2016. And what's pretty awesome is you're still running the latest software on the iPhone 5. Now, if you want your phone to be your everything computer, the iPhone 7 is hands down way better than the iPhone 5. But the iPhone 5 still has the headphone jack, which you do not get on the iPhone 7. So, is it time to upgrade from an iPhone 5 to an iPhone 7? In my opinion, it's time for you to upgrade if you're needing an upgrade. if you're not needing an upgrade, but you just kind of want to, I would say probably wait a little bit longer, get an iPhone, maybe even get a cheaper phone just to hold you over till next year's model, because there are some kinks here, like the no headphone jack. Let's see if they bring that back. It's just the S models are always, more refined in my opinion. If they skip right over to the iPhone 8, that'll probably be more refined. And the fact that iPhone 5 has got iOS 10 gives it one more year in its cycle. So that's pretty much my assessment here. If you got the means to do it, this is a great upgrade. There's still something about this upgrade that tells me that if you had an iPhone 5 and you're coming to an iPhone 7, once the newness wears off of these features, you're gonna feel like you have a very similar phone. But that's just my experience. iPhones across the board, they offer a similar experience across all iPhones. And the iPhone 5 being updated here in 2016 is pretty cool. But that's just my take on it. Would I do this upgrade? Personally, yes, I would, because I'm loving into tech. I love tech, obviously, if you've watched the channel. But if somebody who doesn't use their phone for heavy tasking, I wouldn't say go drop $700 on the iPhone 7. But if you want an upgrade, I'd say go with something a little bit cheaper, like the iPhone SE or the iPhone 6s, or not the 6 series. I don't recommend the 6 series, but the 6s. But let me hear your take on it. Is it time to upgrade? Let's hear your take on it. Drop it down below in the comment section so we could discuss if the iPhone 5 is worth an upgrade to, or the iPhone 7 is worth the upgrade from the iPhone 5. I know it might be obvious to some, but you got to remember, some people do not care about phones like that. Some people use phones for years and years, and it doesn't really matter about like all this groundbreaking tech, you can say, when actually most of the tech that you're going to use here on the iPhone 5 is still pretty much there. You just get slightly better stuff. Well, actually much better camera and things like that. But I'm coming from a perspective of like, some people got an iPhone 5, but what if they got a DSLR and a laptop? Do they really need all this power in a phone? So yeah, drop your comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology videos like this. I got the full review of the iPhone 7 coming this weekend, as well as an all-day battery test, and we got some camera coverage coming on the iPhone 7, and that's going to wrap up our series on the iPhone 7. So yeah, have a great day wherever you are. Be sure to be well, and peace.